Okay, so this is just a quick video to show you how to install the Modbus DASMBTCP server for Wonderware. Here is the file that I sent you a link for. It is DASMBTCP install. I'm just go ahead and right click and go extract all and go ahead and extract that. And I'll come back when this is done. Okay, now that the extraction is done, it placed the folder where the extraction location was, but it also opened it up for you, so we're just going to go ahead and use this. So if you just double click on MBTCP, make sure you select 2.0, then DASMBTCP, then select Setup. This may take a while for it to pop up, so I'll come back then. Okay, now that the installation setup is showing, yours will show a little bit different. I already have this server installed on this virtual machine, but after the screen, we should have some similar settings. So just go ahead and use install, like complete, if it asks. I'm just going to go ahead and do modify. When you come to this screen, go ahead and leave this to the default directory. Just make sure that you click these and go in. Entire feature will be installed, just to make sure everything's installed. And click next, next, and this will just take a few seconds to install. I'll come back then. Okay, now that the MBTCP server has been installed, I'm just going to uncheck the view README because I don't want it to show up when we're done here. I'll just click finish. Then the next step we're going to do is go to Start, All Programs, Wonderware, and go to your System Management Console. Now we're going to go ahead and expand the DA Server Manager, default group, local node, which is this machine. Now you'll notice before you had just the FS gateway. Well, now after you installed that server, you have the DASMBTCP server here. Okay, so we're going to expand that, select configuration, right click, and select add TCP/IP port object. I'm just going to go ahead and call this Modbus. You can call it whatever you want. The naming doesn't matter, just whatever makes sense to you. Then you're going to select that new TCP/IP port object you made, right click, and select add Modbus PLC object. This one, the name doesn't matter, but I'm just going to call it MODSIM since that's what I'm hooking to. So it just makes sense to me. You can call it whatever. So if you're doing a simulator or you're doing a real PLC, I would just name it whatever makes sense. Now, you'll need to change the network address. Since I'm running Modbus Simulator on this actual machine and not somewhere else on the network, I'm going to use the address of, and you can use this too, 127.0.0.1. This is the loopback address, meaning even if this virtual machine is not connected to a network or it doesn't matter what IP address it has, you can always use this address and it'll always reach this machine. The last thing we'll need to do on this configuration page is on your register size, select 6 and go to 5. We're using 5-digit registers. Then we're going to go to device groups. This is actually where we're going to add our topic name, which you'll see later in the access name. So I'm going to click add. Notice how it says topic_0. This name does matter. So whatever you name here is what we'll name our topic. So I'm going to call it MODSIM. So just remember what you call this because it does matter. Okay. Then on the top right-hand corner here, I'm just going to click Save. Saved our data. Now before I activate the server, I'm going to go ahead and run our MODSIM. Okay. Mine, after it's installed, you can run yours. Mine's located under C, Program Files, Embedded Intelligence, ModRSIM. I'm just going to run it. Okay. You'll notice there's 0 connections. Everything's good. Okay. Then to activate the server, to actually pull the Modbus server, we're going to select it, right-click, and go Activate. You should now see that it's green. That means the server is activated. We're done here in the System Management Console. So next, I'm going to go ahead and open up InTouch. The reason why I'm opening up InTouch instead of just Window Maker, I have several different applications, and I just want to show you that I'm editing this demo application right here. You can edit whatever application you want. It doesn't matter, but I'm just going to do this one for now because it has some simulated tags for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up Window Maker. Okay, going to go ahead and cancel. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our access name. We'll go to Special, Access Names. I'm going to add a new one. I'm just going to call this MODSIM. You can name this whatever you want, whatever makes sense. Leave node name blank, and if it's blank, you'll just reference itself. Now, the application name is actually important. I'm going to go ahead and open up the System Management Console again. I shouldn't have closed it. This application name, if I drill down, is this DASMBTCP. Okay, it's just you're telling it that you are talking to this server. Okay, then under that server, it wants to know the topic name, and you remember under here, under our configuration, under Modbus, MODSIM, this is our topic name. Whatever you put here, you need to put here. Okay, leave it as SweetLink, and go ahead and leave it as advised on active items only. What this means is it only pulls this server when those items are displayed on the screen here. Okay, perfect. So we have our MODSIM. We're going to close that. Now you can go to the tag name dictionary and edit a tag, but I'm just going to go ahead and open up my main here. Okay, see how I have this temperature? If I select it and go Control-E, this tells me all the tag names that are under the selected object. So I'm just going to double click on React Temp. I'm going to select its access name and point it to our new MODSIM access, close. And I'm going to go ahead and give it the 4001 address, this address right here. Okay, save. Okay, now when I go into the runtime, notice how this is moving, and notice how now our Modbus server is moving. It's because it's storing this value in our Modbus server. The reason why it's moving is because under this demo application, there is a script that is modifying this tag. So normally this wouldn't modify on its own, but because this is a simulation, it is. But you can see it's storing in our Modbus server. Just to show you that we can still do this normally, I'm going to close out of runtime, go back into Window Maker, open up our main. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. So you'll select it, hold down Control, push D for duplicate. I'm just going to move it out of the way. Then, as it's selected, hold down Control, press E as in echo. You'll see its tag name. You'll double click on the React Temp. I'm just going to click New. We're going to create a new tag. I'm going to call this a MODSIM tag test. Okay? I'm going to say MODSIM tag. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's on the access name MODSIM. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4002. Okay? Just that next address that's available here. Okay? I click Save, Close, OK. Now, when I do the runtime, since there's no script modifying this, notice how it stays 0. Okay? But if I edit this, let's say 102, notice how it just changed the value. Okay, 96. Works that quick. And that should be it. So you can use Python to edit or read values from your Modbus server, and you can hook them up to your HMI. And that's the end of this demo.